What does God look like? What do you see?
We're solar-powered biological AI.
Wait, what?
These ancient adversarial entities, I think it's the very same ones that rebelled against God and were cast out.
They were sent here to guide us in antiquity, and they took advantage of that and just masqueraded as gods. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Greypilled podcast. Esoteric book review, another one. This is Patreon episode 37, I think. We've done a lot of these, too many. But we are joined today by a very special guest. First off, we have our other co-host in the building. I am Jules, the Mississippi Mystic, sound scientist, handsome faggot, all those good things. With me, Subliminal Messenger, host of the Subliminal Messenger Show, and Rat from Season of the Rat. What's going on, boys? Good morning.
Morning.
Good
morning.
You're joined by a very special guest today for a very special book. Mr. Headless Giant from the Headless Giant podcast and the Occult Rejects. How are you doing, sir? Good morning.
I'm doing great. It's going to be a good morning because I get to talk about my favorite book, The Golden Ass.
Yes. Do you want to give us a little, little background into the book before we get started here soon? Because I know we've been looking forward to reading this for some time now.
So this guy named Apuleius was sort of pioneering the idea of mass media, right? So in the 2nd century AD, he had this series of books that he wanted to get out to the public as fiction, right? Just, something that people could read for fun. And so he came out with this book about a guy who gets transformed into a donkey by mistake. And throughout the whole book, it's these vignettes of these different stories that are happening around this guy who gets transformed into a donkey. And then you get this really interesting picture of 2nd century AD Rome and Greece. So he's traveling all around Thessaly in Greece in these stories. And this guy is encountering a bunch of weird things that are happening, weird stories that are happening around him. And it's a bizarre book, really strange. And if you can keep up with it, it pays off big time. Now, a lot of people have, criticized the book as being, scatterbrained or whatever, but I think he's just trying to, shove a lot of native culture into this thing because, they didn't really have that much of a cultural revival going on at the time. You could see this reflected in the work a lot. The people were scared to use the roads because there were bandits everywhere and Rome wasn't doing anything about it. So they let these bandits run free. And so you see this theme throughout the book of, lawlessness and disorder and chaos because the Romans were kind of dropping the ball on protecting people. And so it's kind of, you get this sense of dissatisfaction while at the same time, there are still mystical, strange things happening throughout it. And you get a really good version of the myth of Psyche and I can't believe I'm blanking. It's Psyche and
Cupid.
Right?
Yeah.
There we go. And also Aphrodite and that whole mix. And it's a really good version of it. So that's still present. And a lot of the stuff that was happening in 2nd century Rome was people were transcribing a lot of the older myths onto newer works. So what we find later on in the Middle Ages and stuff like that is all of these works from the 2nd century kind of survive, but the earlier versions of them don't. So this is one of those books where it's sort of like a conflagration of a lot of these different stories coming together and being used as fictional reading for the time period, and people just fucking loved it. So Apuleius, the guy who wrote it, he was a lawyer, and it's strange because the main character in his book kind of parallels that lawyerly journey. So at the end of the book, when he transforms back into a human, he becomes a lawyer because he joins the cult of Isis. And so in the cult of Isis, he sort of gets trained in the mysteries and then becomes a lawyer to work for no money, for the poor and for people who need it.
Even lawyers were some kind of initiate in a way back then.
They had to be.
Yeah, man.
They call it the invisible college because it was like the college. Like you had to go through these courses in whatever so that you could, physically be part of the guild, basically.
Yeah, man. Same thing.
But you
Same
see
thing
that with
the Guild of Knights.
The Freemasons, right? They're supposed to be a guild of masonry, but the whole idea is you got to go through the initiation to be a part of the guild. And that was way back in antiquity that started. So yeah, the lawyer arts had to come through mystic visions and drug trips. So if you wanted to be a lawyer, you had to take a lot of drugs.
Wow.
Hey, nothing's changed, I don't think. They still run into the bathrooms to hit lines of cocaine.
Now it's Adderall.
Now it's Adderall. Right. Yeah. Now they're stealing their kids' Adderall.
Back then it was the kykeon. And the kykeon was where they took these hallucinogenic substances and they put them in the wine. And then they would drink the wine and have divine madness. And they'd flop around on the
fucking
floor.
cool. To be honest with you, I'd probably participate in that.
Call that jungle juice nowadays.
Jungle juice. Yeah. Was that some kind of Grecian ayahuasca? No, dude, it's been a while since I've participated in a trip. Since I've gone on a trip.
Was that the only way to make sense of the legal matter back in the day? Was you had to get blasted out of your mind in order to work with the law and all that?
They go into a lot of legal theory in this book as well. Like there's a lot of legal theory shoved in there because Apuleius was a lawyer. And the way that the witnesses work, you had to have more than one witness to see the crime so that you guys could testify about this. And so one of the big pranks that gets played on the main character is he's super drunk. He's wandering around town and he thinks these guys are starting a fight with him. And so he stabs them and then he falls asleep and he's like, oh my God, what have I done? And then the whole town plays a prank on him, making him think that he actually killed these two people. So they bring him into the town square and they put him on the stand and they're grilling him about who he killed. Like, what did you do? And it turns out the whole thing was just a big prank because he had just punctured some wineskins with his knife because he was super drunk. And so when they found him passed out with these wineskins around him, they're like, oh, I know what we're going to do. So the whole town plays a prank on the guy and makes him think that he killed somebody when actually it was the wineskins, and everybody has a big laugh. And so he's absolutely humiliated, which is, Roman justice.
We should do that. We should do that again. I think we should do that again.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we do that more often?
Well, I think that's where like guys started, like, they'd have slumber parties. Well, that sounds gay, but like they,
Your friends pass out and you draw on their face.
Yeah. They put their hand in hot water stuff. You know what I mean? And they piss in their pants or whatever.
I mean, nowadays they just MK Ultra you into thinking you killed someone. So
you don't really have to kill anybody.
Yeah.
They'll or now maybe they can like pull up some AI footage and be like, see, that's you, motherfucker. And you're just like, whoa, wait a minute. I was at home that night with my family eating sushi and like it's scary to think about. But anyway, guys, be sure to like the stream, share it, get as many people in here as possible because I'll be taking it down off my YouTube. Headless can leave it up on his if he wants, because this is a book that we were reading. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be reading it, right? He is the influence behind it. So let's go ahead and pull. And guys, y'all remember at 5 o'clock, I think either 5 or 5:30, I'm having Stein on from the Great Horn Pagans to talk about the Aesir and the Vanir and all that fun Norse stuff. It's gonna be a good time. And I think you guys have D2A today, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, later today we have a
Yeah,
guest.
guys, make sure you're following Disagree to Agree on Rumble. Today we have a guest who knows more about the Bob stuff than we do. He's done deeper research into the Bob stuff than we have, and he's done it
Really?
a long time ago. Yeah.
He got there 4 years ago.
Oh
But
shit!
the environment was different then. It wasn't. He was predicting stuff with Keck and Trump, getting him or noticing the meme magic around Trump getting
Talking
into
about
office.
Ket,
Yeah, with
the
Keck.
Egyptian god of
Yes.
death, and yeah.
No, well, they were using the meme magic with the Pepes. Everybody was posting Pepes everywhere, and they were posting Trump as Pepe. So it was a bit of a transformation, some symbolizing transformation. And this guy got into that 4 years ago. So he ended up with as a fan of the Bob, of the Church of the Subgenius, the cult of Bob stuff. So
You can also look at it as the establishment trying to usher in their own green man because they don't want the natural one to evolve again.
Right.
That's my theory. Anyway, and if y'all see, guys, I have some new emotes on the Rumble channel. Did those last night. You're welcome.
So you guys make sure you're following Disagree to Agree on Rumble.
Yeah. I have your
today at 3.
I have your page link in the description. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So who wants to start us off? Headless, do you want to do us the honors, sir?
Sure thing. So, first thing about the book is we call it the Golden Ass, but originally it was called Metamorphosis. The Greeks and Romans were absolutely gaga over Metamorphosis. So there was another book called Metamorphosis by Ovid, which is just all these poems about the gods and how they transform from one shape to the other. Metamorphosis was their sort of baseline understanding of the gods and how they transform from one energy to the other and they take different shapes, right? So this is the metamorphosis of this guy into a donkey and then back into a man. And so it kind of goes along with that same sort of theme. So, we know it as the Golden Ass and they knew it as Metamorphosis. So if you think the name sounds trashy today, I think it was intentional. Right.
Right.
So where we're starting is the story of Aristomenes and Socrates, right? And so Socrates is telling Aristomenes, this other character, about how he's in big trouble, and he's being chased by these witches who he has scorned their advances. So after he got really drunk and slept with one of them, they got angry at him, and now they're tracking him down. And this guy, Socrates and Aristomenes, are staying in an inn, right? And so this is where it picks up. Now, again, like I said, these are all a bunch of different stories. The main character's name is Lucius, right? So Lucius is being told this story as it's, from Aristomenes, one of his traveling partners, I believe. And so Socrates was another one of these traveling partners that, well, we'll find out what happens to him. So we're picking it up here on page 39 of the Jack Lindsay translation. It says, "At last I was dropping into heavy slumber when suddenly the door crashed open with greater violence than any robber's shoulders could have produced. The hinges snapped with a crack and were torn out. The door was flung flat. The bedstead, which was rather narrow, lame, 1 foot, and rotten, was knocked upside down by the furious impact. I went topsy-turvy, hurled upon the floor, furious impact. And the bed, rolling over, neatly covered and muffled me in the wreckage. At that moment, I experienced the truth that under a great strain, nature expresses herself by contradictions. Just as tears are oft shed for joy, so in this extremity of terror, I could not restrain a peal of laughter at finding myself, Aristomenes, become a tortoise. And while I lay there, I had been pitched and peeped under the rim of the enveloping bed to see what was the matter. I saw two women of advanced age, one bearing a flashing lantern, the other a sponge and a naked sword. Thus characterized, they took their stand about Socrates, who had slept peaceably throughout the whole commotion. The woman with the swords spoke first. Look at him, Sister Panthea. Look at my beloved Endymion, my sweet catamite.
Hey, hold on. Hey. So Rat, do you have this?
Yeah, I have.
I don't
this.
know what just happened, but Subliminal got like summoned into another realm or something.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me put it
his
up.
kids may have I don't know, gotten hurt or something. She said, "I have to go. Please take over." He'll be back, but
all caps. That's not good.
All caps. Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh shit, what happened? There we go. Okay. All right, let me take this off. Damn. So we did have the. I guess
it's
that was
essential. It's essential to understand what a catamite is. Does anybody have any clue? So catamite is the receiver of homosexual love. Not the giver, but the receiver. So this woman, this witch, is calling this guy her little bitch. Endymion is the sleeping consort of the moon. So you've got Selene and Endymion. And Endymion is kind of like a character from, what's the guy's name that was sleeping in the woods here in Appalachia, right? He slept for what, like 100 years or 80 years or something,
Rip
and then
Van
came
Winkle,
back.
right?
Rip Van Winkle character, right?
Yeah.
And he is consort of the moon. And so she says, look at him, my sister Panthea. Look at my beloved Endymion, because he's asleep. My sweet catamite. So she's calling him a little bitch.
A fag. Yeah.
Little fag, little bitch.
Wow.
Right.
It's calling him a twink.
Yes.
It's the equivalent of calling him a twink.
And it's funny in the notes down here, it says catamite, Ganymede. Now Ganymede was
Ganymede was Zeus's lover, right?
Right. And so, there's lots of different stories about this, but Zeus was supposedly had a water bearer, like also Kronos had a water bearer, but it was more like, they kind of knew what that was about. But they made it very clear who the catamite was. So we'll pick up at catamite. Endymion, my sweet catamite, who day and night has abused my youthful body. Look at him who sets my love beneath him, who not only defames me scandalously, but also prepares for wriggling out of my clutch. And I shall be deserted by this Ulysses in his craftiness. I shall be Calypso, wailing in eternal desolation. So Calypso got abandoned by Ulysses, and so she killed his two sons. Her two sons. So she was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Right.
Then she lifted her right hand and pointed me out to her friend Panthea and said, look at that fine fellow, his counselor Aristomenes, who suggested this defalcation and who now quakes himself to death, flung prostrate beneath his bedstead. He is spying on all of our movements and thinks to get off with his insults unravaged. But I will make him repent someday soon. In fact, at once, for his late reckless speeches and his present peeping eye. When I heard this, cornered as I was, a cold sweat broke out all over me, and my bowels quavered and opened till the very bed shook and rattled above my palpitating spine.
Oh,
shit
wow.
himself.
He shit himself, dude.
Wow.
Did she make him shit himself?
Well, I think he was just so scared that, because they blew the door apart, it was like a huge
wow.
explosion
So some
in the
witch is
room.
just like, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting a mental image now.
Right.
Wow.
And so he's laughing to himself because he views himself as a tortoise, and then all of a sudden he's so scared he shits himself. Anyways, it says, "But why not rip him," remarked Panthea, "to shreds as the bacchanals do, or let us set up the mark of his manhood and knock it off." Little castration humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Funny.
marrow. Okay, so marrow is also a pun. There is a pun in marum, pure, the adjective used with vinum for unmixed wine, right? So these Greeks love their wine mixed with water.
You all right, Selby? Good deal. You want to bring your here? We can bring his back up since it was a little more yeah.
He just cropped it. It was better. You have to scroll down, Sub.
And so she goes, but Mero, for this was clearly a heroine of Socrates' story, answered, "No, he must survive to dump the corpse of this wretch under a sprinkle of earth." Then she laid Socrates' head over on one side and drove the sword into the left part of his throat, up to the hilt, and caught the spout of blood in a leathern bag or bottle, which she held ready so carefully so that not a single drop was left visible. And more, I saw Mero, to omit the correct detail of the sacrificial rite, I suppose, thrust her hand down through the wound into the very entrails, and after groping about, finally retch out the heart of my unhappy comrade. And he, with his gullet slit by the impact of the blade, uttered a cry through the wound, or rather a broken gurgle, and bubbled out his ghost. Then Panthea stopped the big wound in his throat with a sponge and cried, "Beware, O sponge, born of the salt sea, beware that you pass not through on a running stream." After this declaration, they raised up the bed I was straddled above my body, emptying their bladders till I was drenched to the skin with filth. So these vile witches climbed up on top of the bed and pissed all over him.
Hold on, and they killed his friend.
Nice. I mean, not the dead friend, but the other part. Nice.
Wait, so his
Did they
his
kill
friend,
the friend or not?
He died of a happy end. Died of a.
They
Happy
just
ending?
jammed the sword into him, and then they shoved a sponge into him. And what they said is that the sponge, beware if you ever encounter a running stream. Why are they saying that to the sponge? It's kind of weird. So let's see. Where am I? That done, they flitted across the threshold. The door swung up and leapt back into its former position. The hinges settled back into their sockets. The post hopped back to the bars. The bolts shot back to the stanchions. But I still lay flat upon the floor, nerveless, naked, chilled, and wringing wet with urine like a child just discharged from the mother's womb, gasping indeed as if the death throes, yet as it were surviving and soliloquizing posthumously, or at the very least like a candidate for crucifixion, to which fate I seemed devoted. What will become of me, I meditated, when the man is found here tomorrow with his throat cut? Who will think my story truthful if I speak truly? They will reply, even if you, stout fellow that you are, were unable to resist the woman, you should have at least shouted for succor. A man's throat is cut before your eyes and you didn't raise a murmur? And how is it that she didn't annihilate you as well? How did these atrocious butchers spare you, a witness of the murder, to give evidence against them? Oh, you escaped death in the night, but you shall find it again in the morning. I resolved these cross questions unceasingly till night began to merge into day, and then I considered that the best course would be to leave stealthily before daybreak, and to push ahead on my journey, shaken as I was. So I took up my bundle, unlocked and unbolted the door, only to find that this staunch and upright door, which had collapsed of its own accord during the night, creaked and stuck fast. However, often I inserted and turned the key. At last I called out, "Hey there, Ostler, where are you? Open the pub door. I want to leave before daybreak. The ostler, who was sleeping behind the front door of the inn, replied, still half asleep, What's that? Don't you know that the roads are thick with robbers? Again, it's that same theme there. And you're tired of life because you're plagued with a bad conscience. I'm not so pumpkin-headed as to want to die for you. It's almost day, I called, and anyhow, what could they take from a poverty-stricken traveler? Don't you know, you bumpkin, that 10 prize fighters can't strip a naked man? But the sleepy-headed ostler muttered in a drowsy drawl as he turned over on his side, How do I know you haven't strangled the other chap you brought last night, and now you want to skedaddle? Apparently that's happening.
When the witches called this dude a catamite, were they just being observant?
Could be.
They're just being
again,
helpful.
We're missing the whole part about Socrates explaining to his partner why they're so angry with this guy Socrates.
Okay.
Right? So,
all right, fair enough.
So he got in the way of their little schemes, and he wanted to get away from them, but they considered him their property, so they tracked him down and put these weird spells on him.
Hey, so is this the Socrates?
No, there's a lot of people named Socrates.
So, okay, I figured it was a common name. Okay. Because I was like, that's not how he died. I didn't think that's how he died. Okay.
This is fiction, Jules.
I know. Look, it's just yeah.
I remember that when he said that, I felt the earth yawning under my feet, and I saw the depths of hell and the jaws of Cerberus gaping to swallow me. And it came into my mind that Moreau had not spared my gullet through pity, but through a malicious intention to preserve me for the cross. Because again, this is what they did to the criminals back then, as they crucified them along the roads. So I turned back to the chamber and cast about for some rapid means of suicide. But as fortune had furnished me with no death-dealing weapons except the bedstead, I cried, Bed, beloved of my soul, that you have felt me with the strain of this terrible night. You know and can judge all that has transpired. You alone can cite in the court as a witness of my innocence, and then furnish me with a serviceable weapon, for I am hungry for the shades of death. With this, I began to undo the rope that corded the bed, and to throw and fasten one end over a rafter jutting out above the window. I made a strong slip knot at the other end and climbed upon the bed. Having elevated myself thus, as the first step towards the fatal way out, I thrust my head into the noose, and then I gave a kick at the sustaining platform, meaning that the rope, tightening as my weight jerked upon it, should put an end to the offices of breath. But as the rope was old and worm-eaten, it broke, and I tumbled down heavily upon Socrates, who lay stretched beneath and sprawled with him on the ground. At that very moment, the ostler burst into the room, vociferating, Where are you? You that was raving with the hurry in the middle of the night, you snoring now in that heap of bedclothes. And now Socrates, awoken either by the collision or by the ostler's raucous hail, extricated himself first and answered, I could see there's good cause for the bad name that travelers give ostlers. Here this poke-nosed thumps in. I wouldn't be surprised if he hoped to steal something. And he bellows until he scares me out of a sound sleep, tired as I was. And at this welcome sound, I jumped smartly in a sweat of incredulous joy. Trustiest of ostlers, I cried, here is my friend, my father, my brother, that you lyingly said I'd murdered in the night in your drunkenness, and I embraced Socrates with the warmth of kisses. But he, overcome by the stench with which the loathingly vampires had wetted me, they call them vampires in this book. I don't know if that is a Latin word, but they fucking straight up call them vampires. So the whole vampire mythology did not get started with,
right.
Vlad. It was going on in the 2nd century AD. So how old are these vampires?
It was happening in Sumeria. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Can I cut in real quick and just mention
yeah.
the descriptions of him being tied up and the actions of him tumbling on the priest seems like an animal. Seems like when you have like a farm animal and you're tugging on it and it like you're treating it like a piece of equipment already. It kind of makes me feel like that already as I'm hearing him being I guess trying to kill himself. He's going to commit suicide. It seems like.
Well, he wants to because he thinks the first thing they're going to do is, crucify him, and he'd rather hang himself than get crucified. And he figures who's going to believe his story anyway, because, which vampire is coming into the room and stabbing your friend as they piss all over you doesn't seem very plausible.
No.
Yeah.
So was that just like something he saw that didn't really happen since his friend is still alive?
What do vampires do?
Oh, they turn him into a vampire. Dude.
And donkeys are associated with Christ, with Jesus. So I think this is cool. I think this is neat already. I have donkeys. I've been around donkeys, so
you got donkey sub?
I don't have donkeys. I've been around donkeys.
I
so
want a couple, dude. They're pretty
fun.
cool. They're really cool. They're really sweet.
Some are
sweet creatures. Well, yeah,
some are. Some will bite you,
and kick you. Yeah.
And they love biting and kicking goats too.
Well, there's this one donkey farm that's over here by my house, and every time I drive by there, I'll get out and go say hey to them, and they all just come over to the gate and just kind of they're kind of just like just like dogs. Just like real sleepy dogs. I don't know. It's cool. It's neat.
They are
neat.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
But,
yes, very, very noble, majestic creatures. When you look at it from afar, then you get up close and they're kind of goofy.
So after he gets transformed into a donkey, he I'll get into it later, but let's finish this little section. So it goes, I invited some silly joke on the spur of the moment to cover my confusion and then diverted our conversation into another channel. Oh, wait, no. He said, wedded me. There we go. Vampires had wedded me, shoved me away indignantly. Avaunt, he said, with your smell like the dregs of a sewer. And then he made some friendly inquiries as to how I had become afflicted with this aroma. I invented some silly joke on the spur of the moment to cover my confusion and then diverted our conversation into another channel. Taking him by the hand, I said, why don't we go? Let's enjoy the freshness of the morning road. So I lifted my bundle and settled with the proprietor for the night's lodging, and then the pair of us set off. We had not proceeded far before all objects were reflecting in the full brilliancy of the risen sun, and I kept inspecting my comrade's gullet with unabated curiosity, looking for the spot where I had seen the sword glide in, and saying to myself, lunatic, buried in your wine cups, you have dreamed the maddest things. Here is Socrates, safe and sound, without a scratch showing. Where is the wound? Where is the sponge? Where is the scar of the wound, so recent and so deep? At length I addressed him, without a doubt, experienced physicians avow the truth when they say that those who cram themselves with food and spirituous liquor evoke horrible, ominous dreams. Take myself, for instance. I overdid things in my evening cups, and I passed a dreadful night full of such cruel visions that I still feel polluted and wet with human blood. Socrates laughed at this. No, he replied, it is not blood that wets you, but chamber lie. Yet serious.
Was that just another word for piss?
Yeah.
Yep.
The chamber pot, let it ferment.
Wow.
Your garage piss jar, you can be drinking that? I don't have to put it on my face anymore?
Yeah, I used to have some piss bottles in the garage.
Oh, no.
From
For healthy skin, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
We can drink it, though, it sounds like.
All right.
Do I have to drink my own piss? No. I do it because it's healthy. It's sterile.
Because it's sterile and it tastes good.
Oh, yeah. Everybody, if you didn't notice, there is a new theme to the show, kind of a new name to it. You could say Gods of the Morning Wood. We thought that name to be fitting for the show. It was awful. Yeah.
Getting up early, everybody.
Real
Your
quick,
Sunday morning cartoons. What?
slide aside, since you are an expert headless, who would be the most fitting descriptor for god of Morningwood?
Strange that you would ask that. Eos, goddess of the dawn. So she was, yes, she was associated with mortal men and the act of getting up in the morning in more than one way. So she was said to take many lovers of mortal men, right? And you think about it for a second, and what they're talking about is morning wood.
Yeah.
So Eos.
Yeah, they're fully talking about that. Okay.
Sounds like Ishtar.
Oh, they already had it.
Sounds a lot like Ishtar.
Yes, indeed. But I think, the idea of aurora and aura and all the rest of that stuff too comes through Eos. So she's also the mother of the four winds, right? Which has to do with magic as well. So magic is very heavily integrated into Dawn in the Greek system. And her consort, her divine consort, other than the mortal men that wake up with her on their minds,
Right.
one of the minds, right? His name is Astrius, and he's in charge of all of the stars, right? So all of the asterisms that Zeus throws up in the heavens, he's in charge of them. And between the two of them, they give birth to all of these breezes. Now, one of those breezes, let me see if I can pull it up here.
What just happened?
No,
What just happened?
Oh, I pulled up Eos and Astrius real quick.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it
go
just
ahead.
exited out.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Don't want to compete for the space here. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, you got it. You got a better one.
No,
Right,
that's
so-
it.
So this would be aura. This is one of the morning breezes that comes through Eos. Now, what's really interesting is that if you are doing aura viewing, the best time is right at dawn, right before the sun's completely come up over the horizon line. You will see auras like crazy. All of the trees, all
That's
of the
when your
buildings,
aura
everything.
is. Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably when it looks the purest or whatever. Like first thing in the morning.
Right. It's almost like it's reaching out to touch the sky as the sun is coming up.
Yeah.
And if you think about what they've been talking about, red light therapy and all the rest of this stuff, that really has a lot to do with regulating your body. So this interaction between the sun coming up, all of these different, colors influencing your body and creating, the proper amount of, what do you call them? The chemicals for that day, right?
Right.
So your body is processing that light, and then it knows what chemicals to produce. And also, what's interesting too is they call this a figure of the morning breezes. She's holding this kind of billowy scarf or whatever, but it also kind of looks like an aura, like it's kind of enveloping her, and there's this aura type thing going on with it. So yeah, there's a
an
lot
egg
more
within
going
the
on with
inside.
Dawn.
There is an egg within the
There's an
inside.
egg in there.
You're right.
So we're
You're
crazy
right.
about eggs. That's an egg.
Dude, we were talking about me and Headless were talking about eggs last night. It's all good. We're talking about the Orphic egg.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I got the tail end of the show. I was a little late for that.
Yeah, well, no, this was after the show. We
okay,
got into
okay.
a big discussion about the egg. Yeah. I was like, dude, we got to do then I was like, we have to do a show on the egg now. And so me and Headless, if y'all want to join
A
us,
series, dude. Layers.
we
To
can do a
layer
series
that
on the
show.
egg. I'm down
Yeah.
I'm down for whatever, dude. I'll start
do
a
a
show
series.
on music that I listen to in the morning on the way to work. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Should do like a 4-parter. Get the surface, the yolk, right? Get that.
Poached,
There's a lot.
soft
Yeah.
boiled, scrambled, over easy, over medium.
Yeah, we
theory.
can talk about eggs too. That's always fun. I can eat 3 to 4 eggs in like one sitting.
Is that it?
10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, look, that's a lot of eggs when you fry them. Not
fair enough.
scrambled, not scrambled. Anyway, that's enough. Yeah, egg splaining. Thanks, JC. Thanks for that one. That was good.
Destroy
I was
the
catching up on
child,
your.
corrupt them all,
What is that?
It's Alex Jones drop.
destroy the child, corrupt them all.
This is funny.
I'm a white guy.
Deviled
I'm ready to
eggs.
kill.
Oh,
You hear that
I'm
one?
a white guy.
that's
I'm
good.
ready to kill.
Shout out A Jones for the few new sound bites.
So
Yeah.
these witches.
You would have pick up at
Egg.
Chamberlain?
Yeah.
Keep
yeah.
Mexican
with the
egg
eggs,
roast?
guys. We need. This is great.
Deviled
Morning
eggs.
egg.
Yeah, I could eat 12.5 deviled eggs. All right,
Gods
let's
of
get back to
morning
it.
egg. Okay, deviled eggs. Now those I can fuck up, dude. I can't wait till Thanksgiving. Be a good time. Anyway, back to the golden ass.
Yeah. So Socrates is laughing. He says, "No," he replied, "it is not blood that wets you, but Chamberlain. Yet seriously, I dreamed myself last night that my throat was cut and my heart was plucked out. Why, even now, my knees are shaky, and I feel giddy as I walk, and weak from the need of some reviving food. Your breakfast is all ready," I said, and divesting myself of the scrip that hung about my shoulder, I handed him some bread and cheese. "Let us take a seat," I continued, "near that plane tree." We seated ourselves and both started on a snack. Socrates was gobbling greedily, but as I looked at him more attentively, I saw that he was turning faint and pale as boxwood. Indeed, the hues of life were in such pall-mall flight that my terrified imagination conjured up those furies of the night, and that first morsel of bread, tiny as it was, that I put into my mouth, lodged in the middle of my throat, and I could neither gulp it down nor urge it up. Moreover, the number of passers-by intensified my fear, for when one of two companions dies suddenly, who believes that the other is not somehow responsible?
He's bugging
But
out.
when- yeah, he's freaking out. But when Socrates had gnawed sufficiently at the bread, he grew impatiently thirsty, for he had hastily swallowed a fair portion of very good cheese, and not far from the roots of that plane tree, smooth stream wound sluggishly along a rather placid lake, lustrously reviling silver or glass. "Come here," I cried, "drink your fill of this spring water like milk." He rose, then searched about for a while till he found a flat space on the river bank, and then sinking on his knees, he inclined himself down to take a draught. But he had no sooner touched the dewy sparkle of water with the tips of his lips than the wound in his throat gaped open wide, and the sponge suddenly sprang out, a little gush of blood accompanying it, and his body, now void of life, would have collapsed into the stream had I not gripped him by the leg and dragged him with difficulty higher up the bank. There I lamented over my hapless comrade as well as the time would allow, and then buried him in the sandy soil that bordered the river to lie there forever. That done, trembling, terrified, I rode through many strange and desert places. As if driven by the guilt of murder, I abandoned my country and my home, and I exiled myself and came to Aotila, where I have married again.
What's
Here
AOT?
ended the tale of Aristomenes.
Aetolia?
Yeah, what?
Aetolia?
Aetolia, yeah. So I guess that's like a Roman name for Anatolia.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so he takes a drink of water, and the blood comes out, and the sponge comes out, and he dies.
Because they told
Dude
him
immediately dies.
As soon as he drinks water, he's going to die. And so
Yeah.
they wanted to terrify this guy beyond belief as his punishment, and I think it worked.
dude. I'm kind of terrified. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's an actual scary story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it fucks with your mind a little bit. Yeah. It's like a horror movie. That's good shit. That's good shit, Headless.
It's full of stuff like that.
I love this.
It's full of
Yeah,
it.
man.
Wow.
And so this guy Lucius, if you want to get into his story, he's traveling through Thessaly to go find his cousin. And his cousin is married to a witch. And Lucius wants to learn the secrets of magic, but he can't just come right out and say it because this woman is quite malicious, right? So he's looking for this witch lady, and he knows that his cousin is married to her, and so they have this servant girl, and so he starts banging the servant girl, and the servant girl gets him into this woman's, her master's inner chamber, so that he could start messing around with this magic stuff. And he thinks, well, the woman tells him that he can use this powder to transform himself into an eagle. And obviously he trusts a woman, so she gives him the wrong powder and it transforms him into a donkey.
Of course.
What page is this on? Are we on the right page, or is it
This
next?
is further down.
Okay, it's further down.
Much further down, yeah. So
Grab the
going through the
wrong potion again.
Don't trust women.
Here you go, right?
Llamas and donkeys.
Llamas.
So let me find the transformation.
All right.
I mean, I've got a. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying that's wild. That fully the dude was fully just a vampire. That was fully just a vampire.
Right.
Yeah. That's and did they? It's kind of funny that they didn't even have to say it. You know what I mean? Like if you know what to look for, it's kind of like, wow.
Right. And you never hear this book in reference to any vampire lore, right? But
Eat
right
shit,
there at the
Bram
beginning.
Stoker.
Well, it even called the witches vampires, right?
Right.
So yeah, it's wild, dude.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's see.
Let's see. So let me try and find where he gets transformed.
Okay.
But there's lots of good stuff. Milo is his cousin, Lucius's cousin's name, and Photis is the servant girl, right? And so he's sort of getting it on with the servant girl, just so that he can get to know the magic that this mistress is hiding. Now she uses the magic. The mistress uses the magic to go out and get laid all the time. So she's flying out as a bird or whatever, and finding all these lovers and doing all this, really kind of Olympian stuff, because they love to transform themselves and go have sex with people.
Like the swan, was it the swan that flew in the
Zeus.
window? And,
Yeah, that Zeus turned into a swan. It's the same thing with Inky. We were talking about this last night too, how he would change into animals, have sex with girls and ponds, and very, I don't know.
So we have Lucius trying to pick up this Photis girl, and women in the chat, I want to see give this a thumbs up if it would work on you. Thumbs down if this pickup line is totally lame. So here we go. I was entranced by the sight and stood in mute admiration as she, that part of me which so far had not intruded. At last I addressed the girl. How finely, my dear Photis, how gaily you stir your buttocks as you stand over that pot. What a honeyed relish I see you getting ready. A happy man and a blessed man is he that will let you dip his finger in there.
Oh, in her butt.
Oh.
She's stirring
in the
a pot.
Oh,
She's stirring a pot. And he said, hey, nice butt.
and then he put his thumb in her butt, right?
He said, I'd like to stick my thumb in there, right?
Yeah.
But he's talking about the pot.
The pot.
And meanwhile, he's commenting on her butt and saying, what do you think, women? Was the 2nd century pickup line working on you? Hey, nice butt. Let me put my thumb in there.
oh, I missed the opportunity. I missed the fucking up.
Hot twerking. Got it.
Always say.
So she answers, be off, you poor fellow, answered the young chatterbox, never at a loss for a repartee.
You need to pull
Be
this.
off my fireplace. Keep your distance. For if the tiniest spark of that heat grazes you, you'll be scorched to the gizzard, and no one will be able to quench you but myself. For I am very good at putting a choice of spice into the pot or bed, making them both equally stirring.
Subliminal. You need to pull this up.
What page is it?
54.
I thought you were pulling it up, Brad. I tried to pull it up and then it just exited out. I don't know
Yeah,
what's
I
going on.
accidentally exited out.
Uh-uh.
It says page 54.
54.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was looking for it. I get a little sidetracked when he mentioned the button and the finger thing. Sorry.
I was a little
As one does.
distracted. Yeah.
I don't
I
hear
have-
that every day, you know. Okay.
So
54.
all is not lost, she said. Chattering thus, she glanced at me and smiled. So she's all about it. She did not leave the room until I had diligently scrutinized every angle of her charm. But why deviate into detail? It has always been the prime concern of my life to observe in public the heads and tresses of beautiful women, and then to conjure up the image at home for leisurely enjoyment. So he's into hair, I guess. This procedure is based on a clear and rationally determined proposition. Firstly, that hair is the most important visible portion of the body, and that from its prominent position, it provokes attention first. Secondly, that hair, by its natural hues, providing the comeliness for the head, which the gay tints of flowering dresses provide for the other limbs. Moreover, most women, to commend their natural charms and graces, discard all mufflers, throw open their cloaks, and proudly delight in exhibiting their naked breasts, knowing that there is more delication in the rosy gloss of the skin than in the golden sheen of a dress. On the contrary, though, even the supposition of irreligious, and I pray there may never be an instance of so horrible a monstrosity. If you despoiled the most surprisingly beautiful woman of her hair and denude her face of its natural accommodation, though she were dropped down from heaven and conceived of by the sea foam, cradled among the waves, though she, I say, were Venus herself, though she were ringed round by the three graces and environed with the whole mob of cupids, and laced with their love girdle fragrant as cinnamon and the dewy with the balsam, yet if she came out bald, she would not be able to seduce even her own husband.
Oh,
Damn.
I mean, dude's into hair. The dude is
Yeah.
into hair.
Yeah,
He's
hair
making a
makes a
point,
big
though.
difference, dude. Hair
Bald
can
And
make,
also,
hair can make or break how a girl looks, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. A lot of dudes are just into bodies or whatever, like tits and ass. I know has to have a nice, very pretty face and good hair and good features, in my opinion. But
The thing about it is, like, women understand hair, right? They understand how they can maximize the hair for the attention-getting properties of it, And so it's
Yeah.
like, based off of the hairstyle and everything else, this is like what she wants the world to see. So I kind of see what he's going for there. Let me see.
so he's talking about Doja Cat. That's what she looks like.
God,
The lady in the story.
Oh, man. Well, obviously,
Looks like a witch.
he's not into that. Not into that at all.
Not into that. He's very much against this. This
bitch
is
looks like
this
a
is
priestess of
the
Hecate
worst.
or something. I don't know. She's crazy. Y'all remember she took that picture? It was like identical to that picture of Lamb.
Oh, he keeps
her with her
going,
forehead.
doesn't he?
Like real, like I don't know. Bitch got a 5 head. Anyway, y'all got it brought back up. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
let me
ready. It's ready to
see.
go.
I'm looking for so he seduces her and then uses her to get into his master's chamber. So he also talks about the Chaldeans, right? That's interesting. And then Milo, his cousin, tells him about the tale of Diophanes. So he goes into this whole other narrative lasting. See, I think this would make a perfect TV show, because at the end of each one of these stories, he's being told another story. So they go into these vignettes that are being told to him. So like Aristophanes was his first comrade on the road. right? And Aristophanes is the one that experienced this murder of Socrates. And so he's just being told the story. He's not actually experiencing it.
This
But
is
how
Lucius, right?
yeah, Lucius is
okay.
the one that's seducing Photis, and he's
Okay.
the one trying to get to the magic. And then he finds it and gets transformed. So let's see. After the tale of Diophanes, that's when he gets transformed into a. But again, like they just. What'd you find?
This is a comment.
There was a belief in the first century that semen was stored in a woman's hair.
It certainly can be, and she's not going to like that.
I'm something of a scientist myself, and I think there's only one way to test that theory. Boys, audience,
Yeah, I'll try it out later.
Let me see.
You good? Okay, I didn't know. Didn't know if you were. Guys,
Well, yeah,
be sure
I'm
to
just
like
looking
the
for these
stream.
sections that-
Remember to like the stream, and all that good stuff. Oh,
And there is so much. What does it say? I was entranced by the sight. Oh, you're sweet. I was entranced. Hello, human resources. Yeah.
I'll send this around. All right.
Just don't be
I'm done,
fat.
I'm
That's all. I mean, that's all they want. Just don't be fat and gross.
yeah, there
Sure.
you go. I mean, that's a pretty good rule to live by, I'd say. I've had a beer gut before when I was like around my 20s, like 2021. But then
Gotta look out for that.
I lost it. I probably quit drinking. It's probably one of those times. Yeah.
All right. So Photis tells him the whole story about the Boeotian, comely young Boeotian, and her craft. So basically, Milo's wife, right, his cousin's wife, is now transforming herself using these powders and stuff that she got from Syria, and then slipping out to go fuck other dudes.
Whoa. And what's this chick's name?
Her name is Bree something. It's really hard to pronounce. Bree. Let me see here. I'm at around page 77. You guys are looking.
Oh, dude. The
Oh,
Liam
here we
confirmed.
go. This is the bodies of the butchered men. Okay, here we go. So this is what he goes through as he's drunk. So
Biriana.
yeah, Bariana, you got it.
We're on page 77, Subliminal. That's not.
Well, let's go back to 74, and
not
this
weird.
is the
Ariana's house.
this
I
is-
answered.
No. We're going back to the other story he's telling
Sorry,
about the wine casks that he murders.
Oh, yeah. I remember you talking about this.
All right, so he starts out. This is on page 73. Listen, as I was returning home from dinner slightly later than usual and a trifle the worse for drink, which indeed I shall not disguise was my only real offense before the very door of my house, for I am lodging with your worthy fellow citizen Milo, what I did see but some ravening brigands assaulting the panels and seeking to wrench the doors off their hinges. The bars, which had been firmly fixed, were all torn violently out, and the men were menacing all the inmates sudden death. One of them, the biggest man and the wildest wrecker, was egging the others on with words like, "Hey now, lads, keep up your hearts, and let's swing with your fist. Rush on, I'm sleeping. Away with all the hesitations, away with all the cowardly compunctions. Let us stalk with naked blade throughout the house. Stab 'em if they lie snoring. Knock 'em down if they show fight. Save your own skins entire by sieving the others. I confess, gentlemen, that considering my duty as a peaceful individual and frightened at the same time, both for my hosts and for myself, I drew the small sword which I had carried against just such dangers, and I hurled myself at these villainous brigands with the aim of scattering or scarring them. But this savage set of monsters were far from running. They resisted boldly, and they drew together and awaited my onset. Indeed, the ringleader who was giving the orders attacked me with extreme violence, caught hold of my hair with both hands, and tried to bend me back, to bash my head with stones. But while he was yelling for one to be handed to him, I luckily laid him low with a well-aimed thrust. And in the few moments I struck the second man between the shoulder blades, and while he was clinging to my legs and biting me, and stabbing the third through the chest as he charged wildly at me. And so, having avenged this breach of peace and protected the house of my host and the public safety, I suppose that I was not only free from prosecution, but even liable for some civic credit, being a man who has never had his character in any way impugned, who is highly respected in his own city, and who has always preferred clean hands in material profit. Nor can I understand why I am now standing trial as a criminal because of this just requital which I was moved to inflict on some ruffianly brigands, for no one can possibly show that there was any private feud between us, or that I knew on earth the brigands, or knew who the brigands were. At the very least, produce some solemn stolen object to establish a motive for my alleged enormity. So far I spoke, when I was interrupted by a gush of tears. Lifting up my suppliant hands, I turned in anguish from man to man, appealing to their common mercy and the love which they bore their offspring. When I considered that they must all now have felt their withers wrung and their pity stirred by my tears, calling the eye of the sun and of justice to witness, commending my sad lot to the providence of the gods, I raised my head a little and looked out to the people, and they were every man doubled up and weak with laughter. Milo, my noble host and well-wisher, the most helplessly overcome of all of them. And at this sight I said to myself, so this is faith? This is conscience? For the sake of his house I have slain men and now stand on capital charge. But he is not satisfied with withholding the comfort of his aid. On top of that, he grins at my destruction. Meanwhile, a woman came running down the mid-aisle of the theater, weeping and lamenting, dressed in the deepest mourning, bearing a baby on her bosom. And after her trotted an old woman wrapped in dirty rags, uttering the same moans of misery. Both women were waving olive sprigs, hovering over the bier on which the bodies of the laid were stretched under the sheets. They beat their breasts and howled lugubriously. I don't know what that word means, but anyways, they should have
hold on, lugubriously.
Lugubriously, there we
Yeah.
go.
Lugubrious, yeah.
Bitch, I'm lugubrious. Sorry, it's a song by this white rapper. It's a good song.
Nice. In the name of common pity, the universal law of mankind, they cried, take thought of these young men so unworthy, cut off, and afforded the solace of revenge to our widowed and lorn lives. At least take the sides with this unlucky babe, left destitute in the cradle, and offer up to your outraged laws and civic order the blood of this brigand. At this appeal, the senior magistrate rose and spoke to the people. That this crime needs a heavy penalty, not even he who committed it can deny. Therefore, a point of routine alone remains to be unraveled, and that of the secondary imports, the question of whether this man had any accomplices in this heinous deed. For it is likely that a man single-handedly could dispose of 3 such stiltering specimens of youth. The truth must consequently be extracted by means of torture, for the slave boy that accompanied him as a hugger-mugger fled away. So our only course is to put the accused to the question and thereby learn the names of his abettors, so that we may root out this gang and the dread which they instill. Without more ado, the instruments used for torture among the Greeks were produced: fire and wheel and every variety of scourge. I mean, this is a very elaborate prank, guys. Very elaborate. They brought out all the torture equipment. They got these fake fucking mourners coming down to weep over these bodies, right? Supposedly. Then my sufferings were intensified infinitely by the realization that I was not even going to die with sound limbs. But the old woman who had aggravated the whole proceeding with her howls exclaimed, "Most worthy citizens, before you hoist up to the cross this plundering murderer of my unhappy children, allow the bodies of his victims to be uncovered. For the contemplation of the dead, once so young, beautiful, will move you even more to a just wrath, and you will pronounce the sentence angrily, proportionate to this man's villainy." The suggestion was enthusiastically received, and the magistrate instantly ordered me in person to unshroud the bodies, which were laid out on the bier. I shrank back and refused for a while to restage yesternight's tragedy by this exposition of myself among the slain, but the lictors what is that one?
Peremptorily.
Rat
Peremptorily.
probably know how to say these things way more than me. I mean, I
Peremptorily.
can,
But the lictors
give it a go.
peremptorily compelled me
Sure.
to accede to the magistrate's order.
Keep going.
keep reading.
And
Come on, Rat.
all right. But the lictors peremptorily compelled me to accede to the magistrate's order, and at length, by main force, they dragged my hand away from my side and raised it to its own undoing above the bodies. Then, gripped by necessity, I succumbed. Repressing a shudder, I snatched at the pall and revealed what lay beneath. Good gods! Oh, what a sight was there! What an incredible joy! What an abrupt reversal of my fortunes! I, who had already felt myself enrolled on Proserpine's ledgers, one of death's chattels, I, stupefied at the seesawing of fate, gaped, unable to explain or even to express intelligibly the unexpected spectacle. The bodies of butchered men were 3 wine bladders slashed and apertured variously, the scars corresponding in position, as far as my memory of last night's combat extended, to the wounds that I had given the brigands. Then did the laughter, which till now had been kept somewhat hushed by the leaders, swell into an irrepressible roar. Some congratulated me in the excess of their high spirits. Others sat with palms pressed on their aching bellies. All were bogged in merriment as with their eyes turned on me, they trooped from the theater. But I'm gonna come. But I, from the moment I removed the coverlet, stood fixed and frozen into stone, not a pulse different from the other statues and columns in the place. Nor did I emerge from the land of shades until my host Milo approached and laid his hands upon me. Even then I struggled and wept unstaunchably and sobbed all the way as he drew me along with kindly force. He avoided all the frequented thoroughfares and led me through various byways to his house, doing his best to distract me from my misery and persistent trepidation by rambling remarks. But he failed altogether to soften the rankling sense of injury which was lodged deeply in my breast.
The whole town. The whole
The
town.
entire town.
That's crazy.
To
man.
break this down
I'm telling you.
and make him think that he was going to get tortured to death. And then they
You should
reveal,
do this to
oh, no,
criminals.
wineskins.
You do it to
Just a
criminals.
prank, bro. Just a prank.
Or people who are
Just
going to
a
become,
prank, bro.
you know, people in your small community who are going down the wrong path, maybe a nephew or something, you know.
Drunkards. You got to do this to drunkards. Make them think that.
Yeah,
they're
they go off to college and they start drinking a bunch. They come back and you know, you see that they're going, you know, you just want to scare the shit out of them. There's a good example of something you could do, guys. Bring it back.
Yeah, when someone passes out drunk at your frat party or
Christmas.
wherever it is,
Be like, dude,
Um,
you killed grandma and
Frame them for
put a
murder.
bloody
the
bloody
dog.
knife in their hand and cover them with some blood, and then make one of your family members or partygoers disappear for a little while, and now start
him out to the
questioning
woods.
him.
dude.
Drive him out to the woods and
Get
start digging
the-
a hole.
Get the police involved. Make it an 8-month ordeal.
You woke up just in time. When you start digging, the Tennessee Strangler's gonna finish us off. So start digging.
Oh, you guys.
Oh shit!
That's
That's
funny.
so cruel. That's
all
so
right.
cruel.
It's so cruel. It's one of the worst.
So when does he turn into a donkey?
Well, again, he's got to go back and lick his wounds and lick the axe wound of Fotis, and
It's
he's gotta
because
do
he
that for a
never
little
gave
bit.
me the witch's
Like the
Instagram.
axe wound. Is that symbolic?
It's in
right,
symbolic
so-
of Otis's butthole.
I mean,
Well, I mean, there are sex scenes in this book between him and Fotis, and he's doing all sorts of stuff. But you want to find out when he gets turned into a donkey? I've got that.
So this
So-
wasn't considered smut. You were saying earlier it was everybody had this. Like this was.
It was considered
Everybody
smut,
okay, it
and
was?
everybody had it.
Oh, and everyone had it.
he'll be here this Christmas, Donald.
It was
Right.
Was it
It was
50 Shades of Grey?
Back in
Everybody had that.
back in the
50
day.
Shades of
Back in the day,
Greypilled.
pornography was a community event.
Wait,
Somewhat.
what'd you say? Well, me and Headless were talking last night after the show, and I've been watching this show with my wife called The Serpent Queen about Catherine Medici, and like that King Henry dude or whatever of France. Whenever they had sex, the whole fucking court was in there like watching, and real weird, very weird stuff right there. That's I'm glad people don't do that anymore. Maybe they do in those families. That's why they're fucking real weird and
I
odd.
found some haruspicy. Do you guys know what haruspicy is?
No.
No, tell us.
This is where you're using the entrails of a slaughtered animal to see the future. This was big in Rome.
Oh.
I've seen that in
Oh.
movies.
Right, they have that in here too. So this is page 80. Right? And so we're going to pick up at first. She prepared this deadly workshop, all her usual tools, every kind of aromatic herb, metal plates engraved with hieroglyphics, bones of ominous birds, assorted oddments from the graves of men who had died and who had been wept and
Page 80.
buried here. Noses and fingers. There were the bloodied nails of crucified, and there were the affiliated blood of slaughtered men, or
Down.
the mumbled skulls removed from the
Bottom.
jaws of wild
Page.
beasts. Chanting over yet palpitating entrails, she made libation with various liquids, now with spring water, now with cow's milk, now with mountain honey and mead, and she plaited the goat's hairs and twined them into a love knot, and burned them odorously on live coals together with many perfumes, that in a flash the bodies of the hairs were smoking and crackling and received human breath through the irresistible power of magic craft, the blind energy of compelled deities. They were possessed with feeling, and they heard, and they walked. They followed the trail of their own burning excrement, and instead of that Boeotian youth, it was they that came barging at the door, trying to enter. Then you appeared, well-tipped and deceived by the thickness of disconcerting dark. You drew your sword boldly, and wielding it like a mad Ajax, you began your massacre, but not of the whole herd of living cattle that he slew in his frenzy, for with greater valiancy you exterminated 3 puffed-up goatskins. You laid low your enemies without shedding a drop of blood, and the lover I embrace is not a homicide, but a skincide. So this is
A skin aside.
this is Fotis reassuring him for actually being manly. And so she's trying to repair his ego after he murdered these goatskins. Which, you know, pretty good for her, you know? That's what women are supposed to do. Repair that ego after you've been pranked by the entire fucking town.
I don't know if complimenting the way someone cut up some wineskins is
He thought
Is
he was
even
being
possible.
noble. He
Yeah.
thought he was being noble, and so that's what she's telling him. Well, you had good intentions as you were chopping these things up, and you thought you were doing the right thing. And maybe she's horny. So
Yeah, that
there's
too.
that. At this point of our conversation, a mutual desire aroused in us emotionally and physically. Discarding all covers, we trusted to nakedness and held a bacchanal in honor of Venus. And when I was tired out, Photis, on her own generous motion, earned the lad's gratuity. Hey, ladies, would you like to earn the
There we
lad's
go.
gratuity?
Next page.
And then at last, a slumber filtered through our overwatched eyes and drowned us until broad daylight. 2nd century smut.
Was
That
Photis
was
hot?
Yeah,
He's probably pretty hot. Yeah.
she was stirring that buttocks.
He looked like you, Jules.
Stirring the pot.
He was so hot. He looked like you.
Hold on. Photis was the
He-
man.
No, Photis is the girl. Lucius.
Oh,
is
that,
the
yeah,
man.
Photis is the girl subliminal.
No, Photis was definitely showing off her ass though. Like she was like,
I mean, she's probably pretty hot. I mean,
you know,
Okay,
she
yeah.
that's cool. That's good to know.
yeah.
All right,
looked
so
like
I got
Sydney
the
Sweeney.
part where you,
Hey, I was about to
He's-
say they wouldn't be writing a story about some ugly bitch.
that's so weird, dude. I was picturing Sydney Sweeney when I was thinking about Photis. Like that's
Oh,
fucking weird.
Dude. Yeah.
She's the
Good
reincarnation of the
genes.
servant
Good
girl.
genes.
Hey, she gets cast in the movie.
Who?
Sydney Sweeney. She's Photis
As
in the movie.
Photis? Yeah, dude.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Who's gonna be cast as the three witches that piss?
Just two.
They're just two.
There's so many people. Like we could have Doja Cat. You know, you could have all sorts of fucking people.
Nancy Pelosi just retired. We can get her to be one of the witches, right?
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy
Pissing
Pelosi
on
and
some
Doja,
guy.
and Doja Cat.
And Doja Cat. Okay, I might have to be try out for the movie.
Hell yeah.
You're gonna get pissed on
By Doja
by
Cat.
Doja Cat.
Come on.
Okay. So on
Oh,
page
sorry, guys.
73 and 74 is his transformation. If you guys want
73
that.
and 74.
Or 83. I'm sorry. 83 and
83.
84.
Okay.
Hey, Corbo. Good to see you, man.
She could. So, he wants to be. So he wants to be like the sorceress, right?
He wants to use these powders, right? He wants to find out about this magic because that's what he's seeking this whole time. Is he came over to Milo to see his wife, but he didn't want to let her onto it because he knew that she was a horrible witch and she would do horrible things to him. And it just so happened that Photis was his agent, so she gets into her chambers and takes out the powders for him to use.
Okay. All right.
Okay, let me see. On 83, we'll start at length, realizing the truth of my experience, I grasped the hand of Photis and laying it upon my eyes, I said, please let me enjoy a great and singular proof of your affection towards me while the chance beckons. Get me a little of that same ointment. Please, by your nipples, by my honey darling. It works. Try it. By your nipples, honey darling. Do this and bind me, your eternal slave, with a debt of gratitude beyond redemption. Do this, and I shall stand at your side, winged Cupid by my Venus. What's this? She cried. A fox's trick, my ducky? You'd have me chop my own leg instead of a tree. As things stand, it's all I can do to keep the wolf bitches of Thessaly away from you. Where shall I find you roosting when you're changed into a bird? When will you nest with me? The heavenly ones avert such villainy. I answered, though all the roads of heaven should then be open to my lofty eagle soar, though I should then be Jove's unerring angel and blithe squire, would I yet not circle after I had thus been dignified with wings back to my own sung ire. I swear
Snug?
to you that by that
Snug,
snug ire.
snug, eerie, eerie.
I don't know what eerie means, so
Is it
I
ire?
went with ire.
Is it ire?
He's dating a
I think
Jamaican
Eerie.
chick on the side.
Ire.
He's so
I
snug.
swear to you, I swear to you by that ravishing little knot in your hair, in which you have
An eerie is just a nest, by the way. It's a nest.
Oh.
Good.
Okay.
That makes
sorry.
sense. You have enwound my spirit with their hair. So what were we saying earlier about the hair being the receptacle for the semen?
Right.
That I hold my photis above all other women. And further, it occurs to me that once I have anointed myself into a bird, I must keep aloof from all human habitation. Think what a merry, pretty lover ladies would clasp in the person of an owl. For when these night birds blunder into a house, we see that they are hastily caught and nailed to the doorpost, that they may redeem by their crucifixion the evil that their ominous flight portends to the family. Augury. Augury is the foretelling of the future using birds.
Really? So
Yeah.
what kind of birds are they talking about right now?
The owl. It brings
Owl. Yeah, I was
fortune
saying
in the
night bird. Oh, okay. Just making sure that I'm
The
following.
auguries had this cool little wand that they would use that was all twisted at the end. So augury was a very prominent part of Roman, divination.
Augury. Subliminal. We got to do an episode on augury.
On augury, yeah. Slick told me
Augury
about
and
that.
haruspicy.
Yo, is that where the thing comes from of when a hawk flies in front of you, that it's like a symbol from
They had all
from
sorts of
God.
symbols.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that
It's the
happens to
inspiration.
me a lot. Like I'll be driving and it'll just fly literally just right in front of my truck, and I'm like, what? That was close.
Well,
Happened-
There's also the
happened last week.
flocking of these birds, right? So the
Yeah.
augur would watch the flight patterns of these birds as they're doing their little shape transforming thing, as they're all sort of in this hive mind, and he would get visions from the rippling of these birds and everything. So I can kind of see how that would happen. Like nobody thinks about that, but they're almost hypnotic when you've got all the little birds traveling in the same pack together.
Yeah.
Noah
Yeah,
releases
that's
a dove.
incredible when they fly together and they make shapes, and it's fascinating when you look
Yeah.
into the science behind that. Some may say the spiritual science behind it.
Right.
If,
But as soon as they got rid of haruspicy and augury, the Roman Empire collapses entirely.
Yo, Genghis Khan spoke to God through a hawk.
to a hawk.
Wow.
And they
and
react to EMF fields, but they're like magnetic north, right? They just know how to automatically fly to react to the seasons. I don't know, it's very interesting.
We should do
I watch
augury
ducks a lot
classes.
too.
We should do
Augury
augury,
classes?
dude. I'm down to sit in on some augury.
Sure. If you go fishing, you have to watch the. It's nice to watch the birds. They keep track of where the fish are for you.
Dude,
Guys, if you know of any
Fishing this
Roman
weekend.
shamans, you've got to hook us up.
Roman shamans.
shamans.
I'll look for them.
we'll look.
I'll look for some. There's a ton of witches here where I'm at in
Nice.
Tennessee. It was a
TikTok
surprising number. It's like I'm in a place where there's at the same time the most churches I've ever seen in one small area, the most Baptist churches, and also the most witches I've ever run into on a very regular basis. Like they're 1-to-1 with each other. It's crazy.
It's a purple culture, right? So you've got these different stages of consciousness. And according to this book that my landlord let me borrow, and one of those phases is this purple phase, which is all about religion. So it doesn't really matter what the religion is. That's sort of like triggered in the people in that region. And then you've got, a purple meme area. So they're fully engaged with the church. They're fully engaged in magic. It's the belief in the unseen and that sort of phase of human consciousness. It's interesting. You could map out the entire country like that, just looking at the cultures and what they focus on.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Where were we at? So have no fear. As to the part of the process, she said, for my mistress has taught me every charm that brings metamorphosed humans back to their proper shape. Don't imagine, however, that she told me out of any kindly impulse. She did it so that I could assist her with the correct counter charms on her return. Just think what a mighty work travail and common herbs can accomplish. I give her a sprinkle of anise with some bay leaves infused in spring water, and she drinks and washes herself. Having given this assurance again and again, she tiptoed, shivering, into the room and lifted a box out of the coffer. This box I hugged and kissed, and then praying that the ointment would be so good as to give me a prosperous flight, I quickly tore off all of my garments, greedily dipped into the box, and took out a large handful, with which I plastered every limb. And then, flapping my arms up and down, I stood waiting and trying to feel bird-like. But no down appeared, no wings burst out. Rather, it was obvious that my hair was hardening into bristles. My tender skin was roughening into a hide. My toes and fingers lost their distinctiveness and clotted into solid hooves. And from the end of my spine, a long tail whisked out. My face became enormous. My mouth widened. My nostrils gaped open. My lips grew pendulous, and my ears shot hairily aloft. I could see no consolation in this calamitous change, save that I was in every respect enlarged, and even beyond the capacity of Photis.
Yep. Enlarged.
I bet he was.
Enlarged.
Donkey dick.
I love it. I was now past all help, and considering my shape, I saw that I was not a bird, but an ass. My first impulse was to unbraid Photis, but I had lost my human voice and gesture together, so that all I could do was to look at her sideways with drooping underlip and watering eyes, to expostulate with her mutely. As soon as she saw what had happened, she struck her face with angry hands. "Wretch that I am," she cried, "I'm done for in my hurry and fear. I made a mistake and took the wrong box that looked the same. One good thing, however, the counter charm for this metamorphosis is easily procured. You'll only have to chew on a few rose petals, and then you'll cease to be an ass, and you will instantaneously become my Lucius again. If only I had prepared some garlands for you, and that the last night, as I generally do, and then you wouldn't have had to drag this hide about for even one night. But I'll get the remedy, first glimmer of light." Then Photis lamented, and although a complete ass, a beast of burden, and no longer Lucius, I yet had the feelings of a man. Long and deep I meditated whether I ought to assault this deceitful whore and do her death with a good back kicking or a bite, but better thoughts intervened, and I abandoned my rash design, for I immersed her of life, and I might trample out my own best means of assistance. So, drooping my head and flicking my ears, I gulped down my sense of injury for the nonce and submitted the heavy pack of fate. I withdrew to the shed where my good old nag, and that I had borne to me so well, I stabled there his actual nag.
His horse.
So he's in there with his own horse.
He's just a donkey now, just like telling. He's just like,
Hanging
well,
out next to his horse.
I put my ears down and went and hung out with my horse.
Is he gonna smash the horse? I have to ask.
You might. It's been a while since I've read this. Let's
It's been a while since I've been with a woman. I'm gonna fuck this horse.
I mean, when in Rome.
Oh,
He is in Rome. Now I thought, there is any voiceless but instinctive sense of gratitude in animals, my horse, by an institutional recognition and compassion, will afford me lodging and a proper welcome. But alas, for Jupiter, Lord of hospitality, and the invisible deities of faith, that estimable nag and the ass laid their heads together, and forthwith schemed to take me down. Seeing me near the manger, they were afraid for their own provender. Laying back their ears and snorting with rage, they stamped at me with their hooves. I retreated as far as I could from the barley, which my own hands had measured out earlier in the evening. Regale a grateful dependent. Thus disposed and relegated to obscurity, I slunk into the corner of the stable, and while there, brooded over the insolence of my companions and elaborated plans of vengeance to be taken out on my perfidious steed. When next morning, and with the aid of roses, I became Lucius once more. Again, roses are the cure to donkeyhood. Rosy Cross.
I was
Rosy.
Dude, you read my fucking. I was just about to say, does that have anything to do with the Rose Croix?
Who provides him the roses? Isis. Isis comes to him in a vision and tells him where he can find the roses. Rosy Cross. That sounds really significant. And so he gets initiated, obviously, at the end of the book. But guys, seriously, it's an amazing book. You should check it out. There's so many symbols in that, and it's hilarious, and it's sick. It's like
It's disgusting.
it's all the best parts of Rome that you never really see in any of the history books.
Wow.
What do you guys think? Do you like it?
Yeah. No. So
Yeah, that was a blast.
for the
It gets
rest
better.
of the book, is he just a donkey?
He's the donkey. So in the morning, when Fotis is supposed to take him out and feed him the roses, these bandits attack. And they take all of the shit out of Milo's house and they start loading it on the donkey. And so he gets kidnapped by a bunch of bandits because it's a donkey. So he goes into this cave, and inside the bandit cave, they've got a kidnapped hostage. And then they go into the story of Cupid and Psyche inside of the cave as being told by a former prostitute cleaning lady slave for these bandits. So she's trying to reassure this woman who won't stop crying because she was like on her wedding day when these bandits took her. And to get her to stop crying, she has to retell the tale of Cupid and Psyche. For like 80 pages. It's really long, but it's worth it.
It's funny. It's funny
Wow.
you brought up the Rosicrucians because we actually added what was it? Subliminal, the Rosicrucian.
Rosicrucian manifestos. I have the list over here.
The list. Yeah, we
I have a
did.
pretty big list now. It's what Jules is most interested in. It seems.
Well, it seems like that's where a lot of what we've been learning about, or reading about on our earlier episodes, is pointing to. So it's like, why not? Give it a try. If the wheel deems it
deems it so.
necessary, if the wheel deems it so.
Any
we
other?
go
We can
by
add
the
some to
rules
wheel
of the
too.
wheel, guys. We spin the wheel at the end, and it tells us what book we're going to read next week.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The visitation of Isis from this text later helped inspire the whole charge of the goddess that Wiccans use. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Good
find
to
it.
see you, man.
You'll love it, but okay. So he gets taken in. So these bandits get dispatched, and then he tries to run away again, and then he gets caught by all these people who beat the shit out of him. So they treat this guy worse than anything you've ever seen. They're just beating him like crazy, hitting him with sticks, and so he hates humans, and he wants to get away from them and just find some roses after all. And eventually
Oh,
he
sorry.
gives up and he goes to the waterfront and he's like, "Oh, Isis, please help." And so she does. And she tells him where he can find these roses. It's going to be in one of her high priest's hands. And then, he walks in the parade. He goes with this high priest. He eats the roses and comes back a man. And he dedicates his life to Isis. And so that's when he becomes a lawyer, is by going through the rites of Isis.
Like what we were talking about earlier, it's just another initiation. You are becoming the initiate. Yeah, you should raise the stakes by putting some awful books in there. What would you suggest, Jeff? And then Corbo, yeah, I mean, we may come to that conclusion, especially with that forethought in mind. But nevertheless, we're probably going to read some of it still, just to, because we have some questions. You should.
And let's face it, this book is gold when it comes to these ancient symbols of the Eleusinian mystery schools, which became all these other groups, right?
Yeah, the Eleusinian
Freemasons,
mystery schools were the original
Templars, right?
Yeah, that's another path that I'm probably going to be going down as far as research. Yeah, no, I actually want to let's keep this book on the list, because I'd love to get into it some more.
Yeah, the idea is that you could hear about a book that a dude turns into a donkey and tries to butt blast a girl, or you could read about a book that a guy turns into a donkey and he tries to butt blast a girl.
Yeah,
and that's what Esoteric Book Review is all about.
Yeah.
So we will be discussing the Rosicrucian manifestos because we need to find out on our own what's in there.
Well, that's the thing too. This thing is so fucking old that it had to influence a lot of shit. I mean, we're talking 2,000-year-old book.
Is it? You said it's second
smut.
century CE?
Yeah, it's like right in the 100s of AD, right there. It's like,
Yeah.
Go find the cave, Corbo. Yeah, no.
Oh, I gotta find more. I gotta find some more literature from that era too.
It's really hard. That's the point.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to have like fiction books from that time period.
Yeah, and
this is one of the few
if
that
it was,
survived.
and if it was, I imagine if it was even more lascivious than the Golden Ass, it'd probably have been burnt, right?
It depends, because you have a lot of these books surviving the initial book burnings by the Christians, where the monks would actually keep these things, or send them to.
They would bury them.
Well, when the Muslims took over, they kind of revived all of these traditions and took these books out of these temples that had been burned and buried and shit. So the only
should we
reason
add
they
the
survived.
Codex Gigas to the to the list?
What's up?
Should we add a Codex Gigas to the list just to curse ourselves? Gigas Satanicus. That's one of the books he's
That's
talking
the
about.
one that's
Might be refer. Yeah, where he's like on the front
Well,
like this.
no, one of the monks
Right in the front
actually
of the
wrote that in the later centuries, but like all of the classical stuff is, I think, because there's so many. The story of Lucius was not original to this book. This was a retelling of another story that somebody had told before that. So all of this stuff is a retelling of a retelling of a retelling of stuff that's really fucking ancient. They love their repeat stuff, like
Rebranding. Yeah, and you're seeing it happen now, or they're trying to do it. The bastardization of it, like you talked about with the ritual. What was it? Where we talked about Artemis and the Begonia ritual.
right.
If y'all haven't checked out that
Begonia
episode,
ritual.
yeah,
I just saw the
Headless,
movie.
you want to explain to Subliminal about the bees and
So the bees were very important to the Greeks and the Romans, and so they had this ritual. Begonia means ox birth, right? And so they would take this big old bull into a shed and seal up all the walls, and then beat it to death, right? You can see this repeated in Liber Vacae, but they say that you have to use a dog penis in Liber Vacae.
it's for the homunculus, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But so they would beat this this bull to death, and then these bees would fly out of the corpse at a given time later. So it was like spontaneous generation of these bees, and this was what Aristeus used to repopulate his beehives.
Aristeus,
Begonia ritual.
right? Not
Right.
Aristeus.
And so they just recently made this movie called Begonia, which is
Yeah, I
based
saw it.
about this ritual. You saw it in the theaters?
I saw this this last Thursday, I think. I saw it with the wife. We had to do something for Halloween. We saw it. It was interesting. I don't know if I want to do spoilers. You want to do spoilers, Jules? Have you seen it?
That's fine. I mean, I don't know if my wife
it
probably
doesn't
won't watch it with me. She stays away from horror movies and
horror movies.
stuff. Yeah, she thinks. Yeah, she you know.
Was it that?
Begonia. It was, yeah, it wasn't that scary. I don't see a bull that they killed.
Then,
but there's a lot of death in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, what? So there is a lot of death in it?
There's a couple. Yeah, there's I don't. Do you remember the? I can just be simple.
As long as there's not a lot of violent deaths, she can watch something.
There are two. No, yeah, no. There's a couple. There's the cop. I don't know if you remember the cop.
Maybe I'll just make her watch it, and she can close her eyes.
You really smashed
that
cop. So that cop
I guess would be
was
a pig sacrifice. No, doesn't it count as a pig sacrifice? Because he's a pig.
See, the cop represented this character Chiron, who taught Aristeus in his cave. We just did this last night on the show.
Yeah,
we taught Aristeus in his cave when he was a kid. Well, instead, they turned the cop into a pedophile because the modern interpretation of Chiron is that Chiron's a pedophile, just because they feel like making Chiron into a pedophile.
Because he was a centaur, and he used to like teach children. Like he taught Achilles and Heracles. Yeah. So, and you know how they do the bastardization of the European cultures.
But even more so, it became like sort of like the Western idea, like the theological idea, like the mixing of man and beast has always been to be like to deprave yourself into just base instincts like sexuality, sex drive, food. Like those are your beastly instincts. So if you have a centaur who's half man, half beast, obviously the only thing a half man, half beast would ever want is just sex, just food, just war, just violence, and all just the beastliest needs.
Right.
So associating that with,
He was the stereotypical fat cop too.
Yeah,
Stavi, the comedian Stavi. If you guys know familiar with the comedian Stavi, he's like a Greek dude. That's who plays him.
He was saying that he's the only Greek guy in the movie too.
Oh, and it's a Greek god that we're talking about? Or is that
it's a rustic god. Yeah. We just talked about Chiron last night, dude. And he seemed
I
guy.
watched it. It was pretty.
Are there
interesting.
any connections to the aliens at the end of the film?
Yeah.
Because I've never seen Alien depicted like that with the wool sweater thing that was going on. I don't know. Did I see that wrong or something?
Spoil it for me, please.
They had this weird wool thing that they were sort of clothed in, but that was like supposed to represent like fiber optics or something. Like that was supposed to be super technology, like down to the molecular scale.
The hair, the hair was important to them. They could communicate with their hair in the film.
The hair, we're finding the hair in this book too.
Yeah,
like they were gaga for hair back then. Like that was the, if you had the best hair, you were fucking top bitch,
Yeah. Maybe go sneak into a matinee version of the film and check it out.
Yeah, don't waste your money.
It was all right.
No, it was okay, but they completely inverted it. So instead of killing the bull to save the bees for man, killed all of mankind to save the bees.
All nature survived it. I don't want to spoil it too much, but nature survives at the end. Me and my wife were discussing like what the ending meant, and I go, "Oh no, don't worry about it. We're not. The world keeps going. Humans are not important to nature necessarily, according to the the film. So the world keeps spinning without us. I don't want to spoil how they did it because that's for the conspiracy theory community. I think it's going to be just visually, just like what are they doing to us? If you remember
It's the begonia ritual, dude. It's the subversion of it. And even with the hair stuff, like that was popular for women, right?
Well, I think hair is always associated with magic because there's something.
Look in the Bible even, and you see Samson and his hair, right? They cut his hair and he lost all his power. I don't know.
And in the movie, like they're referring to the hair as like an antenna, and she can communicate with her aliens
Mhm.
through these antennas, and so they have to keep her smeared with anti-inflammatory.
Well, that's why wizards have
Hydrocortisone,
long
yeah.
hair and big beards, right? It's
Well,
because
I'm
of that
thinking
extension of energy.
I'm thinking of the I'm thinking of the chakra system, you know, where it goes all the way up to the crown, and then above that would be an extension of that highest chakra. So the hair is the extension of your highest chakra.
Oh, I guess. And the wool sweater would be like
upwards.
extension of that, more hair, I guess. Interesting.
Right. So get this. Hair is piezoelectric. So as you're smashing it, it's creating an electric charge. Your fascia, which connects all of your organs, your muscles, and your bones, that's piezoelectric as well. And your bones are piezoelectric too. So you've got this piezoelectric going to your fascia, going to your bones, and you've basically completed the circuit there. Like, you know, all of the stress that you put on your bones is sort of let out through your hair, right? So all of the stress and the trauma is sort of stored in your bones, right? That's the release of that energy.
Yeah.
Who's the Lord of Bones? Kronos, right?
Right.
The black cube.
Time kills the hair.
Well, and
Time
then you have
extracts
to look at
age
like those
through the hair.
monks and those friars that had
A tincture.
yeah, that had they would shave that part of their hair right there because it was something, I don't know, that's weird because it I don't know, somehow they said that they had more access to the divine by doing that. So did they? I don't know.
Well, I think pathways can be made if you're meditating on using your hair and your fascia and your bones like an antenna,
right?
To sort of
so maybe that halo of hair was, maybe some kind of an antenna to a certain, force.
It's a different perception, but I think there could be something to it. We're just not invested in it at all. Like, we don't think of hair as being all that important. But if you were to go over to the animal kingdom, right? Beetles have this carapace, which is made of the same stuff, these long chain polysterols, I believe, that become this hair substance in us, right? And then if you go over to the plant kingdom, all the bark, all the cellulose, it's the same type of molecule that we have growing out of our hair. So all of this stuff that seems like disconnected actually connects everything.
Yeah, the sensory organs,
that our hair looks like the
cartilages,
mycelium in the ground from the mushrooms as well. It's all stringy and like.
I'm also thinking like the first sign that something's really wrong with your physical health, your hair falls out. As well, the first thing the most the relevant one we think of is people who go through radiation therapy or chemotherapy, their hair falls out, and I think of like wild animals and stuff. When they're unhealthy, they usually have mange or something. It shows up most prominently in their hair or
when
their
you're
lack
stressed
of hair.
out, you'll get dandruff, dude. Some people
You
get
get gray
dandruff.
hairs.
Yeah, dude. I have gray hairs in my eyebrows, but I don't have any in like my hair. It's weird.
It's like
I was going bald
of trauma.
Wow.
It's what?
Your hair goes gray when you're scared, right? And so it's an indicator of trauma. It's almost like you can see the inside of a person just by looking at their hair.
That's fucking crazy that you say that, dude. That's wild. Something to think about, but it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Like when the stories of when a ghost scares someone so bad or something terrifying happens to them or something life threatening happens to them,
like
their hair goes white.
Yeah.
Their hair goes white.
Look at the National Security Administrator. What's her name? The former senator from Hawaii.
Oh,
She's got this big gray
Tulsi,
hair.
Tulsi Gabbard. Shout out. What's up, Tulsi? Hit me up.
Yeah, what
happened? You're a CIA spy. You know where I'm at.
Well, she's ex-military, so you don't even have to go that far, whatever
that
happened.
That lock of gray hair is supposed to indicate sort of like this mastery, or this woman who's seen the world and she's been traumatized by it. You have to kind of identify with her. So almost within the character itself of Tulsi Gabbard, they're showing you all of the instincts that you want to have people feel towards her. You know.
Interesting.
Wonder Woman iconography that came out just before she started trying to become president. She's the only person who did a non-vote, just attended one of these crazy votes that we're always fighting about. Oh, these Republicans, Democrats teamed up. She just did present, didn't vote either way. So to me, that was very honorable. And I think she's now being propped up by the Trump administration for those reasons as a visage, a facade of good intelligence, I think.
Right, of good judgment. And she said nothing about any of the shit in Israel or whatever. In fact, she's done the opposite. She won't answer questions about it. So
not anymore. Yeah, before she was very like talking smack about Kamala, talking about everybody on the stage, and now she's part of the system. Or she always was, but now it's
more obvious.
Yeah.
Now the character is sort of gone. Right. She was playing that character hard. She knew what she was going for.
The use of the character is over. So it was another way of lionizing the more like she was the person to lionize the more libertarian minded, the more no war minded folks to go to the left, where they could consolidate all of them into what they wanted was Kamala, but what turned out to be Biden.
Yeah, Tulsi is part of a cult too. There's a weird kind of again, toenails are made of the same stuff as hair.
JC.
Coming in the clutch.
So if JC would eat the toenails, he would also eat the hair.
Eating hair. Oh, that'd be terrible.
Stir it up with some spaghetti sauce. I'm certain it'll be fine.
I found this one alchemical recipe, right, where they have to try and protect their fruits and vegetables. So what they do is they take gobs and gobs of hair, right, and they put it into a pot and they boil it down. They keep adding water and they boil down the hair until it's actually like a goop or a substance that they can spray. And so what they'll do is they'll spray this hair substance all around their garden. And as soon as the wild animals smell that burnt hair, they're running the other direction, because that's sort of the biological symbol to get the fuck out of there. Once they smell burning hair, they know that the woods are on fire and they've got to leave.
That's crazy, dude. The more you know.
Wow.
Keeps bugs away too.
Corbo, it's good seeing you, man. Thanks for coming by, brother. We do this every Saturday morning. Sub, you want to spin that wheel? Well, what's this?
Let me show you guys some Tulsi Gabbard memes that I made about a year ago. Talk about this exact thing.
Hell yeah.
They're going to use her to enlist you into World War III. That's what they're going to do. Don't wait for the draft. Volunteer today. They're going to put her up like that. I think this was going for like a Lord of the Rings thing.
Oh.
And she's got her Wonder Woman thing, but in reality, she's doing this. Tulsi Gabbard needs you for the CIA. Full benefits package. Okay, let's spin the wheel.
I love you, Subliminal.
That's before the show started. That was just me messing around on Instagram. Thanks for giving me the time to do this on stage with you guys. So real quick, Enuma Elish, Pistis Sophia, Gospel of Thomas, Golden Ass. We're keeping it on the list. Lost Keys of Freemasonry, The Occult Anatomy of Man, Occult Symbolism, Gospel of Mary, Occult Animals, The Adepts of Western Tradition. There's a few. We're going to keep this one. I guess we'll cycle through them as we go along.
Yeah, there's a couple other adepts that we have.
That we have to go through.
That we're going to read. Yeah, there's another one
the
on
Secret
on the Greek and
Doctrine.
Roman.
Do we want to vote on this? It was a hard read. It was It was kind of clunky.
Yeah, no, I mean,
we want to vote?
Yeah,
You can take it
no,
off the
we
list
don't
for
need
now.
Boot
to
it. She's out.
boot it. She's gone.
Yeah, just boot.
Okay. We'll run into
She was a-
Theosophist ideas.
She was a whore anyway. We didn't like her anyway.
She's a rich girl who just lied about all her travels,
Disgusting.
right?
Trust fund fucking dork.
Trust fund lying bitch of a whore. Come on,
Jesus,
get her out of here.
rat.
Oh, yeah, short
What?
hair
I'm
too.
being honest.
Okay,
Trying to learn
Orlinda,
my
Secret
boobs.
Commonwealth of Elves,
Orlinda. Okay.
Chemical Wedding. Okay, this is where we're getting into like the whole Rosicrucian arc for the show. Chemical Wedding, the Amorc Manual. That's the American Rosicrucian Manual. Celestial Hierarchies of Dionysius the Areopagite. Oedipus Agapitiacus. Treatise on the Reintegration of Beings. The Complete Ritual of the Ancient Scottish Rite. The Mendean Book of John. And Frama Fraternitatis, which I think I should add Confessio Fraternitatis. The Rosicrucian Manifestos is a 3-part thing. This is just 2 parts, so I think I should just add this to it. Or just call it the Rosicrucian Manifestos. I'll leave it up to you guys. Read
Jeff
Wolf
said read
Bitches.
Wolf Bitches of Thessaly, Volume 1. If it doesn't exist, just have AI write it.
That's actually in the Cyber Feminism Index. It was written in 1995.
Yeah, we were just doing a deep dive on cyberfeminism, and
We should. If not,
yeah.
we should write it and submit it to the index.
we
Just
should.
start submitting a bunch of crazy feminist documents that we just come up on our
Wolf
own.
Bitches of Thessaly, Volume 1.
Yeah, get
What?
AI to write Wolf Bitches of
Okay, I'll
Thessaly,
write it. I'll
Volume
write it
1.
myself, you guys. I have time.
Just use everything we just read in the Golden Ass to write it on AI and just like see what you get, dude.
Oh, did we lose Headless?
Fucking-
No, I'm
Or am
still
I
there.
gone? Okay, okay.
He was
Sorry.
bringing this up. What's this?
I wanted
Wolf
to
Bitches.
add one to the list.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's bring this up. What's this?
This is the 78th convocation,
Oof.
68th convocation of the Rose Cross Order, right? So this is produced in Beverly Hall, Pennsylvania. You've heard of Beverly Randolph? That's his home.
Corbo was just talking about her in
Oh,
in-
that's
in
the
the
first
chat.
time you've got a seal of the United States. It's
Wow.
published in
Wow.
this work before it was unveiled in 1932. So this was in 1916.
Can you zoom into the
Wow.
stars? Do they have the stars the way they always had them? Or did that change over
see.
time? I tell people about this all the time that we do have a Star of David on our seal, and they
looks
don't
like
believe
a
me.
tetragrammaton.
Yeah,
and
that's a star, David. Boop.
Okay, yeah, I
was
tell
gonna
people they
say,
don't know.
yeah,
Huh?
that's definitely a Star of David. Yeah, dude.
Okay,
Or
yeah, it looks the
That's-
same.
Sigil of Solomon.
He looks turkey-like. That head looks turkey-like.
Dude, the
Oh,
turkey
and
was
there's no-
related to the phoenix and the peacock as well.
There's no stars on the chest plate.
The turkey or the turkey was related to the peacock. It was the peacock after the great flood. All the color washed out of the peacock, and that was the turkey.
I'm only counting 12 arrows. There should be 13.
Oh, maybe the
And the
13th
feathers are
one's missing.
significant.
no, I
too.
count 13.
Oh, you got one more?
1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
1,
it's
2,
hiding.
3,
7,
4,
8,
6,
9,
7,
10,
8,
11, 12, 13. There's 13 headless. Yeah.
Got it. But yeah, that's the Great Seal. And then everybody knows the averse side. Right? So this is on the dollar bill.
Novus Notus Neclarum.
Do they have the happy
Right.
face in the bottom left corner of the pyramid?
I don't know. Do you
A
see it?
happy face.
Yeah, because on the dollar bill, there's a little happy face on the bottom left corner, right, like right there with the arrow. Yeah, right around there. There's a little happy face on your dollar bill.
I see these two things, and then this. It doesn't look happy. Maybe grimacy.
Okay,
I do see that.
it's just a simple
Interesting. I have to
couple
look
dots
for
and a
that
little
now.
smiley.
Soul Science Primer, a truly mystic seal, and body, mind, spirit, and soul. The reverse side of the seal, uncut. We're talking 1916. A report on the 68th convocation of the Rose Cross Order, giving the resume to the proceeding of the convocation together with most of the lectures that were delivered during the time of the convocation, several delegates present. Also, the report of the ancient initiation of the Grove of Osiris, especially prepared for the occasion. 1960.
Yeah, let's
All
add it
right.
in.
Yeah, let's add it in. Subliminal.
Okay, it's in.
ZD. Morning. Let's stay on for a little longer. Haven't seen ZD in a while.
Spin that wheel. Let's see what
Alright.
we got.
Headless. Yeah, send that to me, Headless. Send that PDF to me if you wouldn't mind.
Sure.
Okay, so 60th convocation of the Rose Cross Order. Thank you for adding that. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, dude, it almost landed on Orlinda. What is that?
Secret Commonwealth of Elves.
Yes, dude. Hold on. What is this? Secret Commonwealth of Elves. Can
This
we
is
get
something I've been
some-
wanting to read. I think you would like it. It talks about like the hierarchies of elves and gnomes and little mystical creatures
Dude.
in Ireland.
This
in
is
Scotland?
my shit, bro. Yes.
How old is
Yes.
it?
Let me see.
It's a book by Robert Kirk, 1815.
Dude.
Ooh, it's getting up there.
Thank you. I've been
Certainly
wanting to
not
read this
that
for a long
wicked
time,
crap.
and you guys are just the
What-
right
what
crowd
Headless?
to do this with.
It's not that Wicca crap. You can't trust any of the stuff about the spirits today. It's just all a bunch of Wicca
When-
shit.
When did that start?
1980s, 1970s.
Okay.
Drawing Down the
of
Moon by
elves,
Ad-
fawns, and fairies.
Fawns and fairies? Elves, fawns, and fairies. Fawns.
A study of folklore, psychical research. The text by Robert Kirk, minister of Aberlope, AD 1961. The comment by Andrew Lang, 1893. London, England.
Tara wants to know where she can find that.
what, the
This
68th
this is just on
convocation?
Internet Archive.
Which one, Tara?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Internet Archives. If you want the secret
I also got it at
Commonwealth of
secrettext.com,
Elves,
is where I
Fawns, and
originally found it.
Fairies. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, that's gonna be a banger, dude.
I can. Yeah.
I love this show.
So
Just so you know, guys, this is probably my favorite show to do. Even when only 20, 30 people show up, it's not even that, you know.
Yeah, no, this is a blast. This
I started
is
doing
all-
this show real early on, like in the first 10 episodes of Greypilled. I think I covered one of the Manly P. Hall, but I barely knew what I know now about symbolism, and that was almost 2 years ago. So that's why we're redoing the occult symbolism of animals, and we started doing Unseen Forces. But who knows when we'll land on one of those books again. I'm praying for adepts next time. Praying for adepts. Blueberry Street. What's up, dude? From donkeys to elves. Yeah. So next week we will be talking about the orders, I guess, or the hierarchies of elves, fawns, and fairies.
Yep.
Fays.
And I sent all this stuff to the
Got
Discord.
here, bud.
Oh no, I was just scrolling through it.
Oh, okay.
But basically, the convocations was a meeting of the Freemasons, the Illuminati, the Knights Templar, and the Rose Cross Order. So all of these guys came together and were conspiring, and that's on record. And they made these notes from it at Beverly Hall, where they've got a bunch of pyramids.
Okay. Well, let's see. So yeah, my show, I was gonna say my show later today is at fuck. I thought it was earlier today, but I think it's at 5 or 5:30 today, guys. Was there did y'all have anything else on what we were talking about, or Subliminal? Was there anything that y'all were gonna be talking about this weekend? I know you said you had a guest coming on. Disagree to agree.
Yeah, we just have a guest coming on to D2A later today, 1 p.m., 3 p.m. Central. to discuss the cult of the subgenius. I think as a fan though, he was into the stuff when it went into the internet. So it seems like he used to be a fan. He was into it when he got onto Reddit, when he got onto Discord and stuff, when he got off the page to the internet. So we'll see and he found this 4 years ago. So I don't know if he's looked into it further. He discussed the documentary that was going to be released in 2020. We Rat and I saw it on Tubi. It's available on our channel. If you guys want to watch it before the episode comes on, you have just enough time to watch it, and it'll catch you up on it. But Rat and I went out and we got the books ourselves. We went all over the internet and tried to get as much resources as we could to do this. But it was just interesting. This guy found this years and years ago, and he kind of predicted the chaos energies kind of entering society. And then he said, if I have time, I'll come back to this. And poof, things get away from you. And so I invited him to come back on the show. I told him that we're working on something similar, and we think you have the perfect frame of reference to add to the project. So come down and let's talk. And there's a lot of aspects to it. It's like a big moving machine of conspiracy, music, the Laurel Canyon music scene, the mind control, mind expansions movements around the 60s and 70s. There's a bunch of parts to it. The Bob cult is just a tiny little, very interesting corner of it.
Twin Peaks. That's a
Twin Peaks is probably, dude. Twin Peaks isn't that? I think
Twin Peaks is definitely referencing it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The egregores and the tulpas and the different realms of imagination and creation are all introduced to people, but as a joke. This was introduced to people like crack a beer and read
hold
this.
on, guys. Hold on.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you don't believe in J.R. Bob Dobbs?
Well, no, I don't think so. He may not be a physical representation anymore. They killed him on stage, as you must know. So he must be out in the ether somewhere, manifesting every so often in society. And if you see the movie,
Bob must die.
Bob must, every time he manifests, he must be killed. And I think what they did is put that meme magic on Kirk.
Dude!
Which it's in the cards. It's in the Illuminati card game. It's which Rat and I have been looking into that as well. I'm sure. Yeah, Headless. We haven't talked about it, but he knows his full name. I haven't said his full name, so he knows J.R. Bob's. So he knows the
Headless knows a lot, dude.
He knows about it already.
Oh, dude.
If you guys haven't watched Arise, the J.R. Bob Dobbs movie,
we get into the clips and then it starts messing because I wear headphones, right? The MK Ultra, the what is it called? The Hemisync kicks in, and I can't do this, so I have to go like this. And then I go, Rat, we can't show this to people. We can't subject people to an hour of this. So we have to be
Ultra our own audience. It's our own audience. We should be allowed to MK Ultra our own audience. If anyone, if we should be allowed to MK Ultra anyone, it should be our own audience.
They come to us.
That's what I've been saying.
They come to get our MK Ultra.
I think I'm having Austin Picard on to talk about the Laurel Canyon stuff. So that's going to be a banger of an episode. Also, guys, go check out Stacks Farmstead's channel. I went on there Wednesday. It's a banger of an episode. Real good conversation. Hung out with him and his homeboy Stacks. I can't remember your friend's name. I meet too many people. Was it Drew? It was Drew, wasn't it? He's a good guy. Great show. Good people. And Stacks, thank you for your contribution to the show. Guys, if you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Greypilled podcast. It's a good way to support. Also have a buy me a coffee, Ko-Fi, all that stuff. Been fundraising for new stickers. Trying to make new sticker packs and some form of new merchandise for around Christmas time. So that's what I'm focusing on this month. Made some new emotes last night, if y'all noticed that on the Rumble channel. But yeah, going live later today at 5 with Stein from the Greyhorn Pagans. What time are y'all doing y'all show? That's what I was going to ask.
We'll do it at 3 p.m.
3 Central, yeah.
Central.
3 Central.
1 Pacific.
Okay, so you'll be done by the time I start.
Hope so.
2 hours late.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 hours.
It's around 2 hours usually.
Yeah, y'all can raid me or something. Or
Oh, for sure.
Maybe. I'll think about it.
Yeah. Just think about it. Think about it.
Your
And
char's
then
not on.
guess
Yeah.
tomorrow I'll be on Inquiries of Reality. I think 7 Central, maybe tomorrow night. I'll be streaming that to my channels. Maybe, hopefully. I'm pretty sure Shane's cool with that. So, but yeah, guys, if y'all want to put y'all's plugs in, we can get out of here in a minute. I'm gonna go hang out, maybe take a nap or something. I don't know.
What's up? Follow me. You know where to follow me. Season of the Rat on Twitter. Season of the Rat on Rumble. Check out Disagree to Agree. Obviously, today we just talked about it. And also buy my album, Where We Are. EscapeSaturn.bandcamp.com. And that's it for me.
All right. Subliminal.
All right. And I'm Roll Deluxe, Ricky Spanglish, Manuel Labor, Subliminal Messenger. Check me out over on Rumble. And if you want to help out the show, check out our Building 7 shop. We have some new items in the shop. We have some new stickers. And I'm helping Jules make some of the items for his shop. So check out his upcoming shop, whatever it's going to be. So keep an eye out for that. And we have some sales going on until the end of the year. So get yourself some items.
Can have everyone on there, have some rat stuff on there, Connie and Assbutt stuff on there. That's what I was going to talk about. But that's a discussion we can have in the future.
We could discuss that. Yeah.
Maybe some Murder the Media merch. I don't know, dude. We are in our own what what rat?
Headless.
Nothing. We're good. Headless.
Yes.
Headless. Where can people find you, sir?
Where can we find you? Yeah.
I'm looking up your @ so I can add you on Twitter. Sorry. So you can find me on Twitter, obviously Headless Giant, and yeah,
it's
I put
Headless
out a lot of shows.
Giant.
Yeah,
I have to
you
put
can also
it
find
in
me
the
on
description all the time. So
YouTube and on Instagram as well. I've got a show coming on tomorrow with Ethan, Indigo, and Ricardo called the Trialogues. That's always fun. And then on Monday, we've got Alchemy Mondays, where I do a bunch of alchemy experiments with my Soxolite extractor, and we read a bunch of alchemy books. So check that out. We're going to be doing all sorts of water experiments this Sunday. So that's going to be fun. And
that's cool, dude. You going to open a water portal?
I'm going to try. And get there. No promises yet, but definitely tune in to see how that blows up in my face. So check it out.
Oh yeah, guys, thank you all for tuning in for another esoteric book review. Gods of the Morning Wood. Like I said, I'll be on later tonight with Stein from the Grey Horn Pagans. Check that show out, and tomorrow night with Shane from Inquiries of Reality. I guess we'll probably do a movie night sometime this week. And then we have some Occult Reject shows this month. I think we're doing Serpent in the Rainbow sometime in the next couple weeks. We're having someone on to talk about Atlantis. So some bangers coming y'all's way. I have a lot of shows booked for this month in early December. Cult of Conspiracy, Doc Brown, The Veritas Road, Tomcat from Strange Brew. Bunch of people have booked with me. So if y'all want to book a show with me, you can go to calendly.com/Greypilled or Greypilled Podcast, whatever. I don't know which one. You follow me on Twitter at Greypilled Pod, Instagram, Greypilled_podcast, Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. Yeah. And if I don't see y'all later, everybody have a good Saturday and stay Greypilled. Peace. Kill me, going.
You handsome
out.
faggot.